The Falcons did lose in overtime to the Colts, 31-25. Now, the Falcons were leading with less than 2 minutes left in the game. So can I just tell you, I was at Park Tavern yesterday for the Falcons watch party. And I mean, I stayed throughout the whole thing. And there was a woman behind me. When they have less than 2 minutes to go, she goes, "We got this."
Oh, come on.
Her husband goes, "They still got time on the clock. You don't know what's about to happen."
Yeah.
And I was on her side. I was just like, "No, we got
good
this.
Good vibes, baby. Good vibes.
Good vibes. Good vibes." And then it all turned around.
So I watched college football Saturday with one of my buddies that went to Penn State, and he was the same way about I'm like, Penn State's going to win the game. And he's like, "No, they're not, dude. Don't allow yourself to be heartbroken like I do." He's like, every time I think Penn State's going to do something good, it gets completely washed away. And sure enough, Indiana won. That's exactly how I felt watching the Falcons game yesterday. It was like, oh, dude, let good vibes flow, baby. We're going to do this thing. We're going to get a couple, explosives there, all this kind of stuff. Yeah. Even at the end of regulation, I was like, hey, look, then Darnell Mooney drops the ball. You did get the pass interference or whatever it was, but you got sacked on 3rd and 12 because you couldn't get the run game going. And unfortunate, man. Just a gut punch. I mean, there's no other way to put it. It's a gut punch, and I think that it leaves all of us kind of searching for answers.
Yeah, those last few times you tried to run the ball, they were straight up run blitzing, and you could tell, like, if you were watching the trench, I can't remember who, it might have been Franklin. It was Franklin or Pratt one. I mean, crashed. Literally before the ball was snapped, he was already about to make contact with line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he hit Newsel really hard. And honestly, can we dive into that a little bit? Because that's kind of where I struggle. We talk about so many times when we get on here and hey, is the players, is it the coaches? I think yesterday we feel a little bit better about where Zac Robinson was. And you and I have already had this conversation this morning. But I look at that and I think of Zac Robinson. Like Ryan Newsel.
What's your issue there? I mean, what's your issue with that particular play?
Why is it so predictable what we're about to do that the linebacker can just crash the line of scrimmage without thought of repercussion of any kind of bootleg or anything else going on that you might get hit with a misdirection?
Well, I look, I can't. I think a lot of teams in the league run on first down. I think it was very obvious at that point that the quarterback was off, and so the obvious is that they ran on first down on the first three set was it first down you ran, and then second you missed, right, and then third you got the defensive illegal contact, right. And then you go back or reset. Passing game's off, and it was very obvious.
It was off.
They're gonna, and I think I'm not sure. And I don't know. To me, I'm not sure if it was so much we know this formation or whatever,
right?
As much as the quarterback's 12 of 20-something. He's looked wildly inaccurate the last few throws. They're they're going to try to get 4 or 5. Now, is that one of those deals where you bounce it off, or you? Because it's just here's where I get flustered with this conversation. Because had they thrown it 3 times or came out with a first down throw and it doesn't work, there's a collective saying, "Oh, see, why are you not running the football?" And then you vice versa, you run it, and they're like, "Oh, it's predictable." So I believe that the limitations of what the offense is from an execution standpoint right now is helping show the kinks in the offensive coordinator's play calling.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt.
Because the first half, Mike, and the first series in the second half, he did everything right, and you the players screwed up the execution, and then you flipped to later as the second half went on, and now you can question some of the play calling, and it's one of those deals where like, okay, but for 3 quarters, we had everything dialed up right, and we left points on the field because we couldn't secure a catch that was right in our hands. We couldn't put a little bit more air in the ball.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, and I don't put it. I've been really hard on Zac Robinson. I don't put this loss squarely on his shoulders. I do think that there's some things when you get in the second half. First half, I mean, like you talked about the Kyle Pitts drop. We're running these crossing routes. We're taking downfield shots on play actions. We're running all this different stuff. And I know Arch talked about it on the broadcast, a little bit of a counteraction in the backfield, the counter steps out of the run back. I don't think we utilized any of that in the second half, and that's really what it comes down to. Is I'm looking at it, even though you to your point, you did have drops, you did have some miscommunication. Darnell Mooney had 8 targets and 1 catch. Don't know if I've ever seen a line like that, honestly. I don't know if I've ever seen 8 targets and 1 catch, and you can see the frustration for Darnell Mooney, whether it be he gave the quarterback position a few palms up moments, kind of what's going on, and then you drop the ball, and I'm going, dude, that's why you don't do that. That's why you don't look at the quarterback like he's crazy whenever the throw is a little bit off. That's for us to do. That's for fans to do. As a wide receiver, that's why you go, hey, man, you'll get him next time, because then what happens when it comes down to it and they need you to catch the ball at the end of regulation, you drop it because you're worried about running after the catch. So I had a couple issues with that, but on the whole, I thought this was Michael Penix's issue. You can't throw the ball at feet. You can't throw the ball 4 yards out of bounds to Darnell Mooney. You can't throw the ball, into traffic, do all these different things. The timing was bad so many times yesterday, and so was the footwork, so was the mechanics.
I do want to play some audio from Raheem when he talked with Arch yesterday after the game. He talked about these missed opportunities.
Tough game. We had opportunities, and we didn't capitalize on any of them. Whether it be special teams, whether it be stopping Jonathan Taylor, or whether it be to get some more of those third downs to be able to go for us, and didn't work for us. The guys fought. They fought hard. They played hard. They played tough. We got to find a way to win those football games.
Him talking about stopping Jonathan Taylor, before the 83-yard run, I was like, this is one of the most masterful game plans that Jeff Ulbrich could have possibly put together. 7 sacks by 7 different people. And you are now tied for 5th in the NFL for sacks with 29. Mm-hmm. That is a 13-sack jump in 2 weeks against the teams and the quarterbacks you've played is asinine. That is crazy.
Jalen Walker, baby.
Well,
big
and
part of it.
Here's what's crazy. Jeff Ulbrich I thought it was masterful. Now, Jonathan Taylor breaks the long run, and then he gets 30 extra rushing yards in overtime, and things start to get skewed. A lot of people are going to look at the point total and go, well, maybe didn't do their job, or the rushing total and say, well, maybe didn't do their job.
Yeah.
I look at the forced fumbles, I look at the turnovers, I look at the third down percentage, and I look at the fact that you are almost 100% of the time operating on a short field because your offense fumbles and your special teams cannot get anything done.
And when they have 14 to somewhere in the 14 to 18 play range, more plays, they had the ball over 14 more minutes than you.
Yeah,
you're going to blame I'll tell you. You want to know what happened on the Jonathan Taylor play? I'll tell you what happened. The defense wore the slap out, and he broke tackles on that play, and was able to. Billy Bowman got pinned a little bit to the inside, but he was hemmed up, and he was able to break free of that interior. And because of Bowman had gotten kind of pinned inside, he was able to bounce it out, and he houses it because he's still got elite speed for being a bruising running back. Yeah. He delivers some punishment too, by the way.
Yeah, he does.
Ding.
Yeah, Caden Ellis mentioned after the game, I can't remember where I saw it on Twitter, that maybe a couple of guys maybe quit on that play because they thought they already had him wrapped up.
I could see that.
And then all of a sudden he breaks out, and it's like, oh, that's not good. And the breakaway speed took over.
But I thought you also gave the offense 2 turnovers that they did what with? You know how many points we got off turnovers?
Oh, dude, they went 3 and out after one of them. I know that because I was about to punch a hole in the wall.
And the other was the half. And I don't have as much of a problem with them not using timeouts at the end of that half, mainly because, look, they're an explosive. Their offense is literally nothing but explosive plays.